Hello everyone. Hi, this is Brooke-Sidney. Happy Friday. I'm your Mind Soulful mentor. I'm your self-love advocate, truly am. And I'm your inner voice and soul story coach. And today I just was hopping on quickly just to chat. I find I normally do that on Instagram, but I decided I would just hop on to Facebook. So what is going on? And how does this apply to you? So for those of you that don't know, I am a yoga teacher. I have been practicing yoga formally probably since 2006, 2007. I picked it up when I was in graduate school. I was getting my master's in journalism. And it was an amazing stress reliever. I feel like connecting to myself, like really anchoring in on some of my power. That's where I started learning even more about meditation. And I actually began my yoga path on in a tradition called Kundalini Yoga. So not the traditional hatha or, what most people think of as the athletic yoga. I actually started in the Kundalini Yoga tradition, which is kind of more spiritual. I view it as a technology. The kriyas, the ways that you use your body, the postures, they're done in a very specific way to achieve an actual result. So you could have like a kriya, which is a series of postures that allow you to have more, have better communication skills or relieve digestive problems. And seriously, the first kriya I ever did, and luckily I had someone go with me, it was a digestive, this is a TMI, it was a digestive kriya, so it actually literally was like making my digestion, like my body process foods very quickly. That's a nice way to put it. But anyway, I used that yoga for a long time, so 2006, 2007, but then for some reason, I don't know why, when I attempted to do teacher training before, I had so many questions and so many things come up. And I think where I was spiritually, it felt weird. It felt unaligned. And then my path kind of took me down hatha, which is it is the overarching yoga. It's what people think about when they think of yoga. Although it is spiritual in nature as well, in terms of really connecting you. Yoga actually means union or yoked. So connecting you with God, spirit, whatever that is for you. And it was, in fact, for me, it was very, very powerful. And strangely enough, I thought by, not doing Kundalini yoga and this, what I knew of as spiritual yoga, and doing hatha yoga, that I was kind of, I don't know what's a good word to say. I was on my non-spiritual path. That nothing could be farther from the truth, because the hatha yoga practice and the people that I was privileged to have that experience with, my fellow yoga cohorts, were amazing. And it truly did nourish my soul as well as my body. And hatha really allowed me to fully connect with my body, like fully be embodied. And I think really, seriously, for so long, I was walking around this planet at some level disconnected from my body. That's real. That's some real stuff. And I can talk more about that if people are interested in that. So let me know if you have questions about that. Because I found that for me, the power of hatha yoga was really actually allowing me to inhabit this body glove that God, spirit, universe, whatever you want to call it, gave me, right? And what's really strange, and it may be because I used to model and do those things in the past, that maybe there was a part of me that disconnected from it. I have no idea. All I know is that even though I was an athlete at some point, I was not as fully connected to my body glove. I'm saying all that to say is that now today I am starting the teacher training program for Kundalini Yoga. And I am, to be quite honest with you, I'm not even sure where it's going to lead, which is really prompting kind of this live stream, is that sometimes we get hits in our spirit, we get hits in our, downloads, information, or just urgings, like your soul or your You might find yourself really desiring to do something and you don't freaking know why. You don't know why, you're just doing it. Or you're scared to do it because it doesn't make sense. So that's kind of why I'm getting on, because I can honestly tell you in many respects, I'm beginning this journey to do this form of yoga, not knowing if I'll ever become a quote unquote teacher in the formalized sense, how I teach Hatha Yoga now. I teach Hatha Yoga now, and I teach mindfulness meditation, and I love my practice. I love my teachings, and I see my rational mind wants to find a place to put this latest teaching. It wants to find a place. Well, how are you going to use it? How are you going to, how is this going to make sense? All of those things, right? And what I'm realizing when I go within is that sometimes our soul puts us places and has us do things just for the fact that it's what our soul needs, or it's part of our path. And our mind wants to make sense of it. Our mind wants to rationalize everything. Our mind wants everything to fit into a spot. Similarly, our mind and how we were, conditioned even in society, everything must be rational, logical, and make sense. So most of us if we are paying attention, and actually I'm getting goosebumps, which is one of my signals, we get information all the time. If we are paying attention to our lives and we are being aware of our bodies and our spirit and our hearts, things touch us, things come along. I have one friend who, when she's really paying attention, she'll literally get messages through songs, like something she's supposed to do. Then she'll get some sort of confirmation literally through a song that will come on the radio or whatever, right? God, spirit puts messages there so that we can listen to our soul and listen to the path that we're supposed to be on, per se, or do things that our soul may be calling us to do. But our mind, I don't even want to use the word ego. Our mind sometimes, because its goal is to keep us safe and to be rational and logical, sometimes can block the things that our soul and our heart wants us to do, because we're looking for a place or a way to categorize it, to make it make sense, for it to logically be so. And sometimes it's not. So this particular thing for me right now, it doesn't necessarily make sense. Yes, I'm a yoga teacher, so there's a lot of yoga things that I'm drawn to, but for some reason I continue to be drawn to this particular path of teachings. So I'm going for it. And I'm going to see what is there for me. But part of, I think, living life and part of what I help others do is to be able to listen to these inner yearnings and listen to their inner voice and walk the path. Sometimes not even knowing where exactly it will lead, but just knowing that something is there for them. And I'm telling you right now, that's exactly what I am doing. I don't know the end, right? I don't know the end. And I feel like God often doesn't give us the end. For those of you that, read the Bible, right? If God had told Moses every step of the way that he was going to do, how he's going to get the people out of Israel, like all of that, he would never have done it. He didn't want to do it anyway, let's be clear. But I'm just saying, steps are often revealed to us. That's such a good example, and it just came to me. Steps are often revealed to us one step at a time. Sometimes the entire result or the end goal is bigger than what we, A, envisioned ourselves, and B, what spirit is even showing to us. Sometimes we just get a window. Our job and our work is to understand what is being revealed to us and have faith and belief and self-trust, which honestly are hard-earned for a lot of us. It's been hard-earned for me because following the safe path has always been easier. Following the well-worn path, following the path where there is a clear path, right? This step to this step to this step. Give you an example. I'm not diminishing in any way becoming a lawyer. I am a lawyer. But there's a very clear path to becoming a lawyer. Like, no one's hiding the ball on how to get there. But many of us have dreams that there's not a clear end goal to, right? Like, it's not like step A, step B, step C. In the entrepreneurial world, that couldn't be more the case. Like, I can't even tell you. Trying to help people, trying to serve, trying to, really when you care about people and there's things that you want to do, there's not always one path to do it or a right path or, I don't know. The point is that our soul is guiding us for the things that are for us, in line with us. Our job is to listen. And our job often is to get quiet enough to be able to hear those urges, those desires, that inner voice that I always talk about, because our mind can drown it out. Our mind can put so many thoughts, so many rationalizations, so many requirements for, making it logical or making everything have to be figured out right now, that it stops us from doing some of the things that are going to bless us the most and keep us in alignment, keep us fulfilled, and do things that make us happy. Sometimes we just have to go with what feels good, where we're getting an urge, and not allow it to be stopped by our minds. And the other thing I wanted to say really clearly is that even if you're following me, my path is not your path. And as your coach, and as, my clients and people and friends, my job isn't to make your path look like mine. Not at all. My path is to help you stay on your path. And if you're having trouble finding it and listening to that inner voice, getting clear, finding time for you, that's where people like me, that's where we're helpful. It's not to make your path look like mine. Yes, there'll be elements of me that you'll resonate with. All of my soul clients, they resonate with something about me. There's a connection there. That's very different from my path looking like yours, if that makes sense. We all have our own paths. We all have our own tools. My job is to help you kind of follow the breadcrumbs to see where you may be overlooking things and to be able to tap into here, right? To hear it. So if that interests you, definitely, I'm offering a mastermind right now. I'm also offering free 15-minute clarity calls where I can help you look at your life or look at a situation that you have completely different. That is a guarantee. So for those of you that are feeling that urge to, explore their goals, explore their visions, explore their dreams, I invite you to schedule one of those calls. And I also invite those of you that are curious about this new path, follow my journey. I will share some of it. I'm not sure at this point how much I'm going to share, not share, but I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the wonder that I'm allowing myself to enter something purely with wonder and allowing it to see where it goes, not knowing the end destination, but just trusting and knowing that Spirit put me here for a reason and that there's something for me to gain. There's something for me to learn. And if I have both of those, that means there's something for me to share. So with that, I'm going to wish you an amazing day, and I will talk with you soon. Definitely schedule a 15-minute free clarity call if that speaks to your soul.